If you're writing a book, you're in the process of doing it right now. I'm going to tell you something that you might not hear anyone else say. I'm going to tell you to stop. Stop writing your book until you watch this episode of the podcast because it may be the most valuable, most time saving, the most income generating episode of the podcast that you will ever watch. Now, as I was outlining this episode for the podcast, I wanted to really focus on something that rarely gets talked about. Even I talk a lot about how to develop and, quite frankly, why you should develop a book, publish a book in order to be able to get the word out, to get clients, to attract, get your message out there, to get your story out there. I'm all about that. And I've helped many people help develop their book. I do that right now. I help people develop their book, get their book idea out there. But what I consistently have seen across numerous other platforms that I am involved in, especially around the self-publishing space, is there's this common idea or this common assumption, I should say, that just because the book exists, just because the book's been published, just because the book is up on, let's say, Amazon, once the book gets uploaded, once the book is published, that your work as the author is done. You don't have to do anything more. Amazon's going to do all the heavy lifting for you. People are going to find the book organically on Amazon. They're going to buy the book, and you're going to get these nice little royalty checks every 30, 60 so days. But I will tell you now, even New York Times best-selling authors who use the Amazon platform in order to sell their books, and I should say in order to fulfill the order for the books that are sold, Amazon is not moving the needle for them in its entirety. In other words, they're doing specific things in order to drive awareness about the fact that their book lives on that platform. I've always said that Amazon is a fulfillment center and a payment processor. They are not necessarily your search engine, and they are not necessarily going to be the one that's going to drive traffic to your listing with all the millions of other products on the platform that's going to automatically start doing sales for you without us as the author saying absolutely nothing to anyone about the book. We must do that part of the lifting ourselves. Now, even in the best case scenario, even if you are doing really well, you're selling, let's be conservative. Let's say 20 copies a day, 30 copies a day, maybe even 100 copies a day if you're really good with your marketing. Even at the best case scenario, if you were to generate, let's be conservative and say you make about $5 per unit for every book that you sell. Let's keep the numbers really simple and conservative. Let's say it's 20 bucks, 20 copies of the book a day. You are actually then at $5 per unit. You're making on average about $100 a day. Not bad. That's $3,000 a month. But think about how much more you're leaving on the table by all the other things that you aren't doing in order to generate revenue. Now, we're going to talk about that in other episodes of the podcast. What I want to focus on now, though, is the number one thing that most authors are doing is they are putting all of their eggs in the basket of that platform, doing all the heavy lifting. And what I'm going to talk about in this episode today with you is how we can take a far more proactive, prolific, and actionable method in order to be able to not just generate income from book sales, but from all the other opportunities, income generating, influence generating opportunities that are available to us leading up to the book being available to purchase on Amazon. And I'm just using them as an example. There's also other platforms out there you can sell your book on as well. I'm focusing on Amazon for this conversation only because this is the number one platform that most people are going to. Most authors are putting their books up on that platform, not discounting any of the others that are out there. So, this focus of this episode is about encouraging you to, if you are currently writing your book, I'm going to encourage you to actually stop writing it right now and start focusing on what I'm going to talk about today, which is the thing that every author needs is authority. If you look at the word authority, the first five letters, six letters of the word authority is author. And if you don't have that authority, We're going to talk about what that looks like. It's going to be very hard for you to actually become an author. Now, can you put words in a computer and print them out and assemble it and put a cover on it and call yourself an author? Absolutely. But if you want to be one that actually generates revenue, you want to be one that actually changes lives, if you want to be one that actually gets your message out to the people who need it most, you're going to have to become an authority. You're going to need to add that ITY after the R in order for you to be able to really have the impact that you are creating this book to do. Okay. So when someone comes to me and they say, well, I've been really struggling. I can't get myself to get this book done. I've been working on it forever. It just seems like every time I get into it, I can't seem to get it going. And they're putting all of their energy and all their attention into this. And again, the goal being is that once the book is published, once I get the book up on there, I'm golden. I'm done. But what I ask immediately when someone comes to me is, do you have a book problem or do you have an authority problem? The first thing I ask is who knows you? Who knows about you? Even publishers, like the biggest name publishing companies out there, will ask you if you were to submit your proposal for your book to a publisher, they're going to ask you who knows you? How well are you known? Meaning, perhaps, how big is your social media following? Do you have an email list? How big is that? Are you speaking? What's going on there? They're going to want to know that because they're not going to do the heavy lifting for you. They're going to still rely on us as the authority. We need to bring our authority, not just our manuscript. And that's what I really want to talk about with you today. So again, the typical fashion is write the book, publish the book, and hope somebody buys it. And I will venture to say that probably more than 85% of people who do this, that's what they do. They write, they spend weeks, months, whatever, sometimes years working on this. They publish it and they hope somebody finds it. But if you want to be a part of that 10 to 15% that actually generates not only influence, but income and opportunities for yourself, you're going to have to think differently. You're going to have to think like an authorpreneur, not just an author. You're going to, and the basis of being an authorpreneur is to establish your authority platform. Okay. So again, if you don't have those things in place, you're going to lose out on a massive opportunity to be able to reach people in a way that goes and transcends the physical copy of the book or the digital copy of the book or even the audio iteration of the book. Okay. You're going to focus on building something bigger. Now, what I want to talk about today with you is what I call the authority platform framework. This is a framework that I've designed that I'm going to go through with you today to show you exactly what authorpreneurs are doing to establish authority. And the book is a part of that. It's not the totality of everything that they're doing. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you here really quickly. And we're going to go through this together because I want you to really see this. All righty. So this is what I call the Published Creator Flywheel. It is building and it's titled Building Your Authority Platform. This must, for those who are really successful at selling not just their book, but generating opportunities, income, business influence beyond the book, this is where it starts. Everyone that I've seen that does really well, they do something similar to this. Now, at the center of this flywheel, you see the word authority. And let's blow this up a little bit. Authority is your core hub. It's the anchor system representing the expertise, your voice, and your unique positioning in the marketplace. And everything in this flywheel loop feeds the other that then gives you the opportunities, which we're going to go into last, that will help you actually not only develop a sought after product, because I'm going to really position it, the book is a product. It's not the totality of your business. All righty. And this is again perfect for you if you're a coach, consultant, you are a content creator with thinking about writing a book. Actually, if you're a content creator, you're actually one of the probably in the best position to do this because you already have a lot of the number one thing that I'm going to go into first, which is over here visibility. Visibility. I always say to my clients and my students in my programs is we as authors establishing authority must get in front of our book. We cannot hide behind the book. We need to be in front of the book, meaning people need to see us. Like I'm on camera right now talking to you. People need to see us. When they see us, that helps to build trust. It helps to build connection. And it helps because if you feel like you know me, even in this short time we have together in this episode of the podcast, it'll be far more likely that you're going to go to my website, or you're going to join my school community. Maybe you're going to attend one of my master classes. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. You're going to connect with me more because you connected with me here first. So visibility is key. And quite frankly, if you're a content producer already, if you're doing content even on a semi-consistent basis, but you're getting views, you're getting watches, you're getting likes, you're getting engagement going on. I don't care if it's YouTube, I don't care if it's Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, whatever. If you're out there visibly, at least online. Now there's offline components. There's speaking opportunities that you can go to local, organizations, meetings, or what have you. But people need to see us. People need to connect with us. So being visible is very, very important. Now, moving on, we're going to get into audience. Once you're visible, then you also build audience. You attract audience. This episode you're watching right now is a track. You are watching this, you are a part of my audience. Now, ideally, if you find that you feel a connection with me and what I'm saying, you'll click on the subscribe button somewhere here if you're watching this on YouTube, and you'll subscribe to my channel so that when I do future content, you won't miss it. Maybe you'll join my email list. So then, I send out emails about things I'm doing. You'll come to that, or maybe you'll join my Published Creator School community. I put a link in the description to come to check me out that way, or you come to one of my master classes, or whatever the case may be. But in order for me to be able to get that audience, I must become visible. Hence the first part of the flywheel here, visibility, then audience. Now, once I do that, then the next phase is going to be offers. Now, offers is not a quote unquote just a book. We'll come to that. Offers can be, for an example, coming to my masterclass. Offers can be having a coaching session with me or a strategy session with me. Offers could be a program that I have. It's what I've developed in order to help you take what you're learning here in this platform for free, possibly into an opportunity to work with me at a paid level. Okay. Same thing can apply to you. If you have paid classes that you do, if you have a paid community, possibly like a school community, if you do retreats, if you host events, if you do anything where you transact in money for the experience to work with you, that's where your offers will come from. You build your offers as a result of your connection to your audience. I'll say that again. You will build your offers in conjunction with the relationship that you've established with your audience. Because guess how you're going to know what to create the offer around? You're going to ask your audience. You're going to ask your audience. This here, right here, this is why there's a key here, honestly. This here is the key to unlocking income opportunity for yourself beyond waiting for the book to come out. If I create connection with you now at this level, then chances are going to be far greater that you're going to want to connect with me deeper on a deeper level. In order to do that, I need to have a two-way communication going on with you, not just you listening to me on this, if you're watching this on YouTube video podcast, or if you're listening to this on one of the audio streaming services like, Apple Podcast or Spotify or whatever, the many places I have the podcast out there, you're listening to me, but that's a one-way conversation. Now, for an example, in my Published Creator School community, that then opens up the door for a two-way conversation. Or you could even comment on this video if you're watching it on YouTube. But I'm still going to take it a step further and invite you to join me in one of my Authorpreneur Decision Masterclasses, because again, that's another layer to connect with me. That's another way for us to talk to one another, you know, or perhaps you might do one of my Authorpreneur Readiness Assessments. And in that conversation, if we're right, if it's right, then we'll get on the phone together, we'll get on Zoom together, and we have a two-way conversation going. From there, then I will then know what to craft around developing the offers that I will make in order to be able to deepen that relationship. Okay. Now think about that. All of this is coming, the visibility piece, the audience piece, and the offer piece is coming before the book. It's coming before the book. All right. Now, the book is another way to us to create connection. But if I don't have visibility, if you don't know who I am, if I've not done my part with visibility to then attract audience, i.e., you watching or listening to this video or listen to this podcast, in order for us to have a two-way conversation so that I can build offers that will support you further, then part of one of those could be my book. Now, and I'm gonna tell you what a book really is, honestly. A book, especially for nonfiction, I would say nonfiction, I don't want to say use how to, but I'll just say more in the how to realm of topic of book. Basically, a book is just packaging everything that you've learned from visibility, from audience and offers. All of that is what you're packaging up into a book. So a book is one way in order to be able to assimilate or distribute your information. It could be, like I said, all the other things I talked about a moment ago, but the book could be one of the pieces that they walk away with. So when I'm out there being visible, for an example, and I'm in front of an audience being visible, one of my offers could be to buy my book. And I'll even give you another secret tip right now. You can actually start building up the audience that you will then connect with in real time, that you will get feedback from, that will help you develop the book. This will help you develop the book. So when I said at the top of this episode was, if you're writing a book and you're doing it in isolation, and particularly I said to stop doing that, stop writing it right now, because once you put these other components in place, it's going to help you develop a better product. And dare I say, if positioned properly, you actually can get paid to create, to book, which is basically just packaging all of your ideas and credibility into this asset. And then that's where the opportunities all come from. That's where the opportunities for partnerships, for media, for speaking opportunities, for all other things come out of that. But those things don't happen until you've done these other components first. Now, there's one more piece to this that I didn't talk about. As you notice, when you watch me do this flywheel, I started off with visibility. But here's the other piece: framework. Frameworks is something that most of us don't think about. And all a framework really is your formula, your recipe, your guide for how you take people through a process that you developed that gets them a result. Your framework is your recipe, your guide, your formula for taking people through a process to get a result. My authority framework is everything that you've seen here in this flywheel. Okay. It's visibility, it's audience, it's offers, and yes, the book that then generates more opportunities. And it just keeps cycling back. That's a part of my authority framework. All righty. So I want to go into this with much more depth with you, and I want to actually show you how you can begin to think about how to not only think about, but to actually make a plan around developing your own system, your own ecosystem, i.e., your own flywheel, that can help you connect with the audience that you want to connect with through your own visibility, whether it be podcasts, social media, what video, whatever you want to do with that, Because again, if you don't have those pieces in place, if you don't have that in place, you could be spending a lot of time and energy and money creating a book that, quite frankly, no one really knows about or even cares about. And I'm going to say, I'm going to take it even a step further. The book is just one piece of how you can create e- experiences that connect with your audience in a way far beyond the physical iteration of your book. Definitely publish the book. Definitely do that. But don't leave this piece out. I implore you not to leave this piece out, because if you leave this piece out, then what you're really just focusing on is your own desire to put your words on paper and hand it to someone and hope that maybe they find it. I had a mentor one time that said to me that guessing is expensive. And I'm going to say that if you're guessing what to create, that's going to get expensive. Knowing what to create is a far better bet. So my high recommendation to you is, as you're watching this episode, is to think about these things I've talked about in the flywheel. Okay. How visible am I? That's the first question you should be asking yourself. How visible am I? Pick a platform. I don't care which one it is. It doesn't need to be all of them at the same time, but pick a platform that you are going to be active on. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever. Pick the platform. Show up consistently. Show up consistently and see what, build up your audience, build up your connection, and see what people are responding to. See what people are responding to. That's going to give you a good guidepost as to what to create to keep them engaged. And sometimes it may feel like you're throwing spaghetti against the wall. Nothing seems to be sticking. But one point, one piece of content that you will make will stick. It will be the thing that people are responding to. And when you've discovered that piece, deep dive, drill into that deeper. Just don't treat that as a fluke or say, well, I did one piece of viral content and then I move on to something else. That's kind of the curse of us as creatives. We tend to go, okay, I want to do something new. I want to try something over here. If you find that one piece that resonates with your audience, keep drilling into that, because there's more there that they want to know. Keep drilling into that. There's many more layers underneath the surface of what tapped into that audience, that desire that audience has. And then if you really want to take it to the next level, I can't encourage this highly enough. Create an opportunity in which you can have a two-way conversation. It can be on Zoom. It could be, I recommend if you're online, do it on Zoom. If you can do it in person, even better. And have that two-way conversation. Ask questions. What about what I said resonated with you? And listen more than you speak. Listen more than you speak. Let them tell you. Don't lead too much. Let them tell you what resonated with them, what they felt connected to by based on what you said. When you start to do that, that is the foundation of the offers that you will create, one of those turning into your book. Once you have that intel, you will end up crafting a much better book because you got actual feedback from people who connected to you through your visibility, through your audience, through the invitation to connect with you on a deeper level, through the conversation that you had, through you listening to them more than you talking at them, hearing what's really coming up for them so that you will then know what to package in your offers, including that being the book, that then will open up other opportunities for you. And from that flywheel, then will become the creation of your framework. But you can't get that intel until you've done the other piece. So that's why I say the first point is build audience first. I mean, build visibility first. And visibility can be nothing more than you picking up your camera and talking to it, posting content up there, getting feedback, seeing what's resonating with people, the people that you want to connect with, building up the audience, creating the opportunity for you to be able to have a connection with them through a two-way conversation of some sort, to then instruct and inform and impact what you make in your offers and what you put in ultimately in your book, which will then inform what you create as a part of your flywheel. So if you got value of what I shared today, I want to invite you to join me for the next iteration of my Authorpreneur Decision Masterclass. It's a free experience that I'm currently having. The link will be somewhere here in the description. Definitely, if it's on YouTube, in the pinned comments on how you can register for my next event. And I will break down what it takes to be an entrepreneur, the decisions that must be made in order to be an entrepreneur, and how to then begin to develop your own flywheel, how to apply the entrepreneur decision flywheel into your own book creation process. So again, if you're currently working on a book or you're thinking about creating a book, this is perfect for you. If you're a coach, a consultant, a content creator, anyone that develops content on a regular basis and you want to learn how to package this in a way so that you can monetize beyond just possibly influencer income that you might make, this is a perfect opportunity for you. And I would love to connect with you and again, in a more direct two-way conversation basis than you just watching the video here on YouTube or listening on the podcast. If you are listening on the podcast, I'll have the links in the show notes to how you can register for the Authorpreneur Decision Masterclass, or if you're watching on YouTube, the video, the links will also be in the comments. So I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this today or listen to this today. I hope that something that I said, or if something that I said resonated with you and you want to go deeper, I invite you to come and check out one of my Authorpreneur Decision Masterclasses and maybe watch this episode again. Because again, this is something it's not complicated, but it does take a little bit of time to maybe wrap your head around if it's the first time you're really hearing it. So again, I want everyone that wants to author a book, I want you to author the best book that you can possibly author. But if you are an author without authority, you basically have just put together a beautiful document or a nice document with a nice cover on the front. But if you want to really establish yourself as the leader that you are, if you want to really take it to a whole other level, and the book being a part of that whole world that you're creating, your own ecosystem, this could be the opportunity that you're looking for in order to do that, to make sure that you are creating the best possible product that you can do. All righty. So thank you so much for listening. Also, too, I invite you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And or you're listening on the podcast, go check us out over on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss any of the content. And I'm going to be deep diving into these topics even more in future episodes. So always come back and listen again. And also, too, I'll have a link to join me in my school community if you'd like to come check that out, the Published Creator. All right, this is Rodney Washington, your host, signing off. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.